All right, everybody, we are now over a year removed from my last guide, and a lot has changed in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We have a few more Galactic Legends, we have the Executor shaking up the fleet meta, and Squad Arena went bye-bye. Now everything's all about Grand Arena. So let's talk about where the focus is now in this game. Like my last video, let me re-emphasize, this game is an investment in your time, and you want to get back the best ROI for that investment. Now, in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, the number one return on investment you can possibly get is fun. Are you having fun with the game? And you know what? If you want to farm certain characters that you love and you want to build this and that, by all means, go for it. Because if you're having fun, that's the main point of why we're doing it here. Number two, there's some critical resources that we can get from this game. And number one being crystals, number two being zetas. Zetas you can't really buy, and crystals, crystals are basically as good as money. They give you the freedom to pick and choose. Do you want to get gear? Do you want to buy this character shards? It helps you expedite your farm in whatever direction it is you want to go. Now, the best way to get these rewards are through Grand Arena. Through the way it's been reorganized, you get a ton of crystals through Grand Arena. I actually love the changes. If you combined my old Grand Arena with Squad Arena, the way it's set up now is I'm getting a lot more now from the new Grand Arena with Squad Arena wiped out. So that is awesome for me, and it should be great news for you as well. Also, in Grand Arena now, to be competitive, to get up, into the higher divisions, you need to have Galactic Legends. Before they made all the big changes, you were able to take Galactic Legends out with some free-to-play counters. That's not so much the case anymore. You pretty much need Galactic Legend to trump Galactic Legend, at least to stay competitive. So we gotta find a way to get some Galactic Legends on our roster just so we can be competitive and be in the conversation of some of those higher Grand Arena leagues that have the best payouts. Also, Fleet Arena is still alive and kicking, but there's a new meta, and you pretty much need this new meta to be at the top and challenge. So let's talk about what our goals are going to be for this year's guide. We're going to set some very high long-term goals, and they are going to be the Executor, Jedi Master Luke, and Sith Eternal Emperor. We are going to work towards these three. I believe these three have a lot of synergy with each other, which is what we're going to go through. And I also believe there's a core team to focus on for these three that will help you get to these goals faster, as well as unlocking other parts of the game for you. So if you followed last year's guide, you may have started farming bounty hunters. And I have good news. That is the core team I believe you should be targeting, in the early parts of the game. Now, with these three broad goals, there's going to be a lot of teams we need. Let's get that out of the way. There is a lot, and a lot of the early teams I suggested farm are still very applicable. If you don't know really what I'm talking about, please go back and watch last year's video. I'll include it in the description. I'll throw it in the card. We still want to do those early teams. We still want to farm Phoenix to get Grand Admiral Thrawn. We still want to unlock Emperor Palpatine. We want to go for CLS. We want to go for a lot of those early teams. And all those early requirements are going to feed into these three big goals we have. So work your way up from last year's guide, and then into this guide, we'll talk about some more higher level strategy on what you can do. So the main core team you should be farming as early as possible is, yes, a bounty hunter team comprised of Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Bossk, Dengar, and IG-88. Now, the reason why it's these five is because these are the 5 core bounty hunters needed to unlock the Executor. And 4 of these bounty hunters have a ship, which is just as critical to the character itself. So what can this team of bounty hunters do for you? Let's start on the lower end and work our way up to the bigger end goals. First off, we can use these to unlock Tarkin's capital ship. The requirement here are dark side ships, so you could really use anything. And I know some of these bounty hunter ships are a little later in the game, but at this early stage, you should still be able to get Slave 1 to plug in here. But like in my other guide, and if you look at the requirements for the Executor, TIE fighter pilot, with the TIE fighter, obviously Darth Vader with TIE Advance. These are all ships and characters you're going to need later on, and they could all work together here to help you get Tarkin's capital ship. Why do you want Tarkin's capital ship so early on? It's because it will unlock the ship abilities materials challenge for you. And that challenge is what gives you those zetas and omegas for free. The quicker you can get that unlocked, the faster you'll be getting omegas and zetas from that particular event. Next up, there are some rotating events that come around monthly. One of them is Contraband Cargo. This is an event that gives you prestige. You need this for upgrading your capital ships. If you are early on in the game, you're starting to get your first or second capital ship, there's going to be a lot of them we're going to need as fleets are becoming so important to this game. And let me tell you, I still don't even have enough prestige to level up all my capital ships, and I've been playing this game for years. So this is something we want to be able to accomplish right from the get-go. This event requires cargo ships. A couple of those cargo ships are Slave 1 and Hound's Tooth. The other bounty hunter ship that you could use here is the Razor Crest. And the Razor Crest now is very free to play friendly, as you can get it in the Fleet Arena store, and you need the Razor Crest to unlock the Executor. Some more synergies there, all working together. Next up is the Assault Battle Rebel Roundup. This one requires Imperial troopers or bounty hunters. At the end of this long farm, you're going to have both teams, but for this early going, you're likely just going to have the bounty hunters, and they are more than enough to get through all those beginning tiers and at least challenge tier 1. Challenge tier 1 give you those juicy rewards for gearing up characters, and those early on challenge tiers give you a ton of rebel characters and rebel ship shards. These are going to be used to build up your rebel fleet, which is going to be critical before, in the early going. The rebel fleet can beat almost anything except for, the main Executor lineup. I'll leave, again, some more videos in the description of how you can see the rebels can dominate. I highly suggest rebels. You can also go the Empire fleet too as well with TIE Bomber, but rebels would be my main suggestion to work on. This is going to help you start getting those rebel ships and characters. It's also going to give you a lot of rebel fighters. And now these aren't just going to be wasted tunes. You're going to be able to use these in a Mon Mothma lineup. And again, requirements to get Jedi Master Luke. Mon Mothma is going to be one of those requirements. So you're going to be getting her anyway. So just by getting this event, you can kind of passively create a rebel fleet and set up your Mon Mothma squad while you're farming for your end goals. Now, sticking with ships, there's another capital ship we can grab, and that is the Finalizer. The Finalizer has some random ships that are required for unlocking it. 3 of them happen to be Slave 1, Xanadu Blood, and Hound's Tooth. So these 3 ships can help you get the Finalizer and beat that bonus tier. I do not have my First Order stuff geared up. You can easily do this with those bounty hunter ships, Vader's TIE Advanced, and then whatever low level First Order ships you have to fill out your roster. Next up, this bounty hunter team is going to allow you to unlock legendary Chewbacca. Now, Chewbacca is a great character in this game. He's obviously critical to a CLS team, and he's also a pilot for Han's Millennium Falcon, and he's a requirement for Jedi Knight Luke / Jedi Master Luke tree. Speaking of the Falcon event requires these bounty hunter ships to unlock it. Once you get that Falcon unlocked, that will be the engine that drives your rebel fleet. And once you get the Falcon, and you get bigs from doing the rebel assault, You throw in some Biston's U-Wing, your Rebel fleet can punch up very high. You can take down Negotiator's Malevolence. You can work your way up those fleet arena rankings to start getting those nice crystal rewards. And at the end of the day, it's going to give you a solid fleet for using in Grand Arena. Now, there are 2 more special events that occur in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. They are the Galactic Bounty special event numbers 1 and 2. These events allow you to play them twice. You get 50 crystals each time. So when they show up, you're getting 100 crystals for completing whatever character you choose. But there's some very interesting characters you can go after here. Imperial Probe Droid is a unique character in this game. If you do not want to spend your guild event tokens on it, this is a way to farm that character. It's not needed for the particular farm we're in, but it shows you that bounty hunters are one of the way to get it if you were interested in that particular tune. The 3 critical ones, though, are Rebel Officer Leia Organa, Han Solo, and Wampa. These 3 are needed for Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Now, if you're in a guild, get in a guild right away as soon as you can. Get Han shards from the raid, so I wouldn't recommend starting farming Han in this. I would recommend going after Wampa first, right? And Wampa also is a solid character you can use in Grand Arena for soloing teams with the new Omicron ability. So Wampa is where I would target first, then Rolo, then Han if you need to, if he for some reason isn't at 7 stars yet. So now we come to the more bigger ones. Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Some of the requirements for him are Rolo, Wampa, Chewie, all things we've got from the bounty hunters. Lando is one of them, where you'll be getting shards from the assault battle. And also Darth Vader. Darth Vader is a character in my old guide I've advocated getting very early on, and Darth Vader has a ton of synergies with these big 3 things and is kind of needed across the board, so you can't go wrong farming Darth Vader as early as possible. Once you get Jedi Knight Luke, he is really the main and hardest requirement to get for Jedi Master Luke. Other requirements for Jedi Master Luke are like Biggs and Wedge, Princess Leia, Old Ben. These are all characters you can get from assault battles early on in the game. They're very easy to farm. So again, once you get Jedi Knight Luke, it's pretty easy then to get Jedi Master Luke. The only hard ones are probably Raid Jedi in training, but again, you're getting a legendary character, so you can't complain that much. Same with R2-D2. He's someone you should be unlocking early on in the game, especially if you're going for a CLS team in the early going. And then like Mon Mothma, who we already talked about, and Chupio. Like, Chupio is a solid character, a great character, and he makes that CLS team go. So these are all characters you will not regret farming, and it will give you other teams other than just that one Galactic Legend team. Because regardless if you had 1 or 2 Galactic Legends, you still need a bunch of teams to fill out that Grand Arena roster, or you're never going to win. Like, you need to be able to set defenses. You need other teams for attacking. So building up these other teams as we're going for these larger goals is going to benefit you significantly. Now, we've talked about pretty much all of the Executor requirements. All very easy to get. Probably the one that's most difficult is going to be Admiral Piet, especially at Relic 8, but he is a great character. He's also the pilot for the ship, so it's a no-brainer. You got to get him. And he's also a requirement for Sith Eternal Emperor. Now, Sith Eternal, there's going to be some characters we may not have farmed at all that you'll have to farm up, but there is a lot of crossover and synergy. So I think your target should be the Executor / Jedi Knight Luke at the start. And then once you get probably Jedi Knight Luke first, then move on to Jedi Master Luke. And once you have him in Executor, then you'll focus your attention on Sith Eternal. Sith Eternal, in addition to Piet, you also need Veers and Stark. These 3 characters are all Imperial troopers and critical parts of the Imperial trooper team. I don't believe I mentioned this in the previous guide, but Dark Trooper and Moff Gideon are very easy farms. They're on very low costs, whatever you want to call it, nodes, like early on. They are easy to get. Those 2 plus the 3 already mentioned give you an absolutely solid Imperial trooper team to add to your collection. And, you know, I know for context, it's not just these bounty hunter characters going to get you everything. There is obviously a lot of farming and characters to do to build up this, but I think you could start to see there's a lot of synergy between these three. You're not really working against yourself to get these ones. And if you do have the focus to see it through to the end, this is what you're going to end up with. You know, mind you, you're going to have to fill in a couple little gaps here and there, but when it's all said and done, we're going to have a Jedi Master Luke Jedi team. We're going to have a Sith Eternal Emperor team. We're going to have a solid Imperial Troopers team. We're going to have an Empire team with the remaining characters. We're going to have a Mon Mothma team, which is a, you know, great team for a lot of the game modes. We're going to have a CLS team, which is still one of the best teams in the game. We're going to have Wampa, who's capable of solo and cleanups. And then, you know, there's a few other critical opponents there, components left over. We're going to have a Relic 7 Jedi Ray in training. You know, you get a couple low-level resistance with her. Like, I tend to use Ray a lot with R2 and C-3PO in Grand Arena. You know, basically Ray with the droids. And I find it's a great team to take out some of those lesser teams in Grand Arena. You are going to end up with a Jedi Knight Anakin. And a lot of people love going the whole Padme route. I went that route because these end goals for me didn't exist. That's a solid team. Or you can even use Jedi Knight Anakin in your Jedi Master Luke team. So, you know, there's a lot of application for him down the road. Plus, he has a very good ship, and you're going to be in a guild, and you're probably going to be getting negotiator shards from the guild event store. So he's going to be the engine for that ship. So again, a solid character. Fleet-wise, you're going to end up at a minimum a Rebel fleet, an Empire fleet, and then your Executor fleet. So you're, as long as the meta doesn't change, you're going to have that big, bad Executor fleet, and then you're going to have two solid fleets to play with it, right? And all meanwhile, you probably have worked on one path of Negotiator and or Malevolence, and you're going to have a Finalizer capital ship. So really, you know, when you look at the total package from going this route, you're going to have a lot of stuff to compete in Grand Arena and in Fleet Arena. All right, so before we wrap up, just, you know, one more thing. I know I didn't focus on the very early on in this game, and again, I'll just re-emphasize, if you want more help on the very early stages of this game, like Phoenix, who to farm there, which Imperials or which Empire to farm in the early going, which legend or, you know, which legendary event to go after first, please watch my 2021 guide. It is a lot more focused on the very, very early stages of the game. But I think this year's guide is a solid sequel to that, to kind of give you, you know, for people kind of more in the mid-game area and where they should be focusing their goals. So let me know in the comments what you think about going this route. Are you currently going this route? Are you happy you did it? Are you unhappy you did it? Is there a character or a certain team you recommend going after before some of these ones I've spoken about? And I also have a Discord server, and there's literally nobody in it. So if you want to bounce some questions off me, ask some more specific stuff, send some screenshots back and forth and whatnot, please feel free to join. I'm pretty responsive, and I would love to help you guys out. So that's going to do it for me. Peace out, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next video.